Hi, this is HackTheFile. My name is Michael Lopez, and today is the second video of ethical hacking, a hands-on introduction to breaking in. So I'm getting over a cold, so I might be coughing a little bit. The last time we left off was here, setting up the internal network. So I ran this video a little bit and um, I don't have any sensitive information, so it's fine to show you this. So we're gonna go ahead and pick up from where we left off. We've just set up the pfSense virtual machine, and now we're now we're gonna be setting up the network, the internal network for it. So you can think of pfSense as a firewall, as a gatekeeper that stands between the internet and your internal network. It will inspect the traffic entering and leaving your network to ensure that your internal network is secure from outside attackers. This creates a safe place for you to add vulnerable machines that only you can attack. Right click pfSense in your virtual machine and then click settings. So this is what it's going to look like when I do that. So I'm going to show you here. I'm going to right click this and go to settings. Okay, but I'm going to do it off screen because I can bring this, and then so this is what it brings up, and it looks just like that, right? General system network, right? All right. Click network tab and make sure the network adapter is adapter 1. Here goes adapter 1. In the adapter 1 tab is enabled and attached to the bridge adapter. So it is enabled and attached to, we're going to go here, bridge adapter. With the same name as your wireless Ethernet card. Enabled and bridge adapter creates a direct connection between the pfSense virtual machine and the internet. Next, click the adapter 2 tab and make sure enable network adapter is enabled. Okay, enable network adapter, and that is enabled, and that it is attached to the internal network. So attached to internal network that we will name internal LAN. Okay, so we're going to name this internal LAN. This internal network will connect pfSense to our other virtual machines. Once you click OK, the internal network should be available to other virtual machines. So I'm going to explain a little bit of this real quick. It explained it in there, right? So what I just read. So this is connecting to our internet, right? And then this adapter is connecting to all the other stuff in the network, right? It allows it to connect to the other stuff in the network. Um, so we'll be looking for like internal LAN or whatever. This is so we can connect to each other as in that vulnerable network that we're setting up, or the pretend virtual network that we're going to be hacking. Okay. So okay, now I'm going to press OK. So the network is set up, right? At least for this firewall, or this gatekeeper is calling it. Configuring pfSense. Now we're going to configure it. Now we're ready to launch pfSense and configure our virtual router settings. Incorrectly configuring these settings could cause your virtual machines to have no internet access. Double click pfSense in your list of virtual machines. So I'll double click it, and what it's doing is I just double clicked it, and I guess it's trying to power up the machine. There you go. I guess this is the virtual machine it's running, right? You should see a screen similar to figure 1 through 7. Click the folder icon and then click add icon in the upper left corner. Okay, let's see if this is actually what we're supposed to be looking at, right? pfSense CE, start, cancel, right? Let's go do it. CD loader, pfSense running, Oracle workflow. Okay, maybe I did something wrong here. You should see a screen similar to that. Click on the folder icon and click add. I think this is the folder icon right here, right? Delete. That's not a folder icon. All right, let me see if we can. See, I don't think. All right, I had to get off real quick because my girls were getting loud. All right, so I had to delete the pfSense VM that I did because I didn't configure it right the first time. That's why it wasn't working. We're gonna reconfigure it right now. We're gonna do a speed one because we already ran through the steps, but just in case you guys were following along, we can redo it. You're gonna have to redo it. So if it wasn't working, so we're gonna click on new. We're gonna name this PF um, PF Sense. Okay, and we're gonna change this directory to another directory, right? So I'm gonna put this in my local. Select that folder, and then we're gonna attach this ISO image because it doesn't show it in the book, right? This is the whole part of troubleshooting it. Sucks because this book, I guess, when it was set up for Mac or Linux or something, so they didn't have this. But we're gonna add this ISO image, the one we downloaded, right? And then it said it wanted it to be BSD, and we're gonna change this to 64-bit BSD. So this is all gonna stay the same as the first time we did it, right? The only thing different is I'm gonna change this to other. We're gonna change this to VMs, and we're gonna attach the image so it can load up BSD 64-bit, right? That looks good. Next, this is the amount of memory it said it wanted, the RAM, or yeah, RAM. And we'll go to the next, and 16 gigabytes. We're gonna do remember 6 gigabytes, right? It says 5, but I'm gonna do 6. 6. I don't know. Okay. Go next. pfSense. So we did everything the same except we for this initial step, except we yeah, I think we did it exactly the same. Okay, 6 gigabytes. I think the first time I might have did not enough disk space either. So make sure it's gigabytes. Okay, we'll finish that. Now here's it's all set up, right, ready to go. Now we're gonna change the network settings. So we're gonna right click, settings, and we're gonna go to network. And adapter 1 is set it, make sure this is enabled, and we want to go to bridged adapter, and it's going to connect to your Wi-Fi. Then you're going to enable on adapter 2. You're going to go to internal network, and we're going to call this internal LAN. Okay. Oh, I'm going to get the name exactly right because internal LAN. Okay. Network setup. Now it's saying to do, see, internally and all that. Now it's saying to do, oh, this is Metasploit. Okay, hold on. Now it's saying to go after it says to do that, right? It says to start your machine up. You're gonna get this. This is for Mac, I think, right? And then it's gonna say power your machine, and then it wants you to right click and then remove the storage and all this crap. We're not gonna do that because when I do that, it breaks it on Windows or something, right? So we're not going to do this part where you take this off and then because the CE, this is the pfSense VDI virtual disk image. Um, we don't need to delete this, right? We need this disk image. So I don't think we have this, okay, or whatever. And then it says you're going to get this uh, login, right? Welcome to pfSense, right? But this is a different version and it's old, I think. So what we're gonna do is, this is just a pain, right? When you have different versions and you have outdated stuff, but it's fine, right? You can figure it out yourself. So um, we're gonna run this now, and this should run, okay? Because it's got the ISO image attached to it when it boots. It should just boot right up into um, see pfSense. So I think this works, okay? It's got the network. It's got the network attached. I did it all right. This is booting up, and it's gonna boots to a command line. Now, like I said in my videos, I troubleshoot stuff, right? But this, when I was going through the original one that was broken, um, basically all I did was delete it. And I already told you that, and it's easy. You just right click, delete it. So I right clicked on here, right? Deleted the old one, and then I started all over. And I did it everything exactly the same except for I skipped this part, right? Because you have to pay attention to all this stuff, right? It's not the same version, so it wasn't pulling this up, right? When I rebooted it, and I didn't have to reboot or anything. And this is probably outdated a little bit, right? So I didn't have to power this off. Um, when I went through here, I didn't have to remove that because I don't think I had this, right? You need this virtual disk image um, on there to, and so I was attaching that already, so or something. I don't know. So I just skipped this process because every time, the first time I did this, didn't even want to start. So, and it says you're gonna get this looking. This is outdated, or this is for a different. This is for on Macs, right? I don't know. So, but this, we've got pfSense, right? So I'm going to click in here. Okay, so you have clicked the mouse inside the virtual machine or press the host key. This will cause the virtual machine to capture the host mounter pointer. So this is going to capture my mouse in here, right? And then I'll be stuck in there. So you got to read through this real good, and then if you want to escape, so you can press the host key. It says at any time to uncapture it to get you out of it, right? The host key is currently defined as the right control. So the control on my right side of my keyboard. So I'm going to capture this. And now I'm in here, right? So now I'm going to say, I don't know, let's say help. Okay. So it's just help. So this looks like it's running, okay? This looks like it's working. Uh, um, Let me get out of this real quick. Okay, so So this looks like it's running, right? So let's see if that command works. Show scripts. Anyways, so here's a little commands here. Let's do processes are running, and more. Oh, let's exit. Usually it's exit. And then we can go to help. So this looks like it's running, okay? Whether it's connected, whether it's hooked up right or not, but I mean, it looks good. So now see, I'm stuck in here, so now I gotta press the right control. Yeah, see, got me out of it. Okay, so I'm gonna shut this down. I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna save the machine state, right? So there you go. The pfSense is set up, right? That's your pfSense virtual machine. So thank God, we're gonna pass that. Now we're gonna have to set up Metasploit. So that was a lot of troubleshooting for one virtual machine. So that's why these videos are like important, and um, to teach you how to like troubleshoot through this. Like I said, this was a pain because it's a different operating system. So this is written for Mac, and I'm not on a Mac, right? I'm on a Windows. So and I downloaded the Windows version, so it's going to be a little bit different. So, um, but this, I basically when I did all this and I followed the directions and it didn't work, I deleted it, okay, and then I started over again. That's I got through so far of the book and it didn't work, so I deleted it, start all over again. Um, Next is the only thing I did different was it was asking me to delete these images, right? And um, this wasn't the same, so I assumed that was had to do with all this stuff, right? So I just skipped this because I didn't want to delete. I don't need to delete that, right? Everything was working just fine. This was saying that when you started it up, it was here you were gonna have some problems, right? And you had to reboot it and all that. I didn't have no problems at all. So like when I started up, it started up just fine. pfSense, and I was logged into the um, and it didn't look like this because it's not the same version or this is old. So those are things you got to keep in mind when you're setting up your environment. But you'll learn a lot by troubleshooting and messing with it. So I was messing with it, and what I did was I actually went through, but it took so damn long. It was like an hour that I was um, going through this, and I thought, well, I don't, I don't have to. I could just skip this whole step, right? Because this is not. Every time I did this step, it was breaking my VM. It wasn't loading, so I just skipped it, and I wasn't looking for this anymore. So, but that was just, I couldn't record that because it took me so long. And wouldn't have been a good video. But basically, I can run through what you should do, right? And that is that if you get through here, you need to look at it and go, "Wow, man, I broke it." Just skip that. Just skip which is breaking it. And a lot of this is just terrible. Um, you know, I wish if I had the opportunity to write a book and stuff like that, I would put that in there. Like, remember when you're download. This is for Mac. This is an example for Mac or something. And if you're running into issues or anything, or it doesn't look exactly the same, as long as your pfSense boots up fine and you're into the command line, the bottom line is you're trying to get pfSense running. Okay, and that's it, and that's all you care about. You want to make sure it's running, and you want to make sure it's you're able to put in commands, the help command and all that, and it's running. And then the networking you have to get right anyways, right? But that's different. But if you're doing something that's causing it like this, where you're deleting the images or something, and you're causing it to break, you might be deleting the wrong thing or something. So you might not have to do that. So just skip it. That's lessons learned on that. And now I know. So I've gained a lot of valuable experience just trying to download one simple VM. It's just ridiculous, and it's taken me, I would say, at least 4 hours of my time to just get this one VM running properly. And I don't even know if it's running properly yet. But if it is, then then I know how to do it now. So, and that's just practical experience. You gain that practical experience. So if you're ever working for somebody and they're like, hey man, we're using Oracle, wherever VM, um, you know what to look for, and you know what's wrong and stuff like that. So you don't have to have somebody teach you or anything, and all this bull crap because you've done it before. So you're like, man, I've done this before. Anyway, so that's gonna be this video, right? um I want to keep these videos 30 minutes now. I don't want to go too far into them. That way there's a lot of different videos, and I don't want to learn all this stuff too fast. I want to go through setting up Metasploitable next, but that'll be for the next video. So if you had fun and you enjoyed this video, which this video wasn't that much fun, but I hope if you followed, you learned a hell of a lot about troubleshooting um, these VMs and the setup of these VMs. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for have fun, and thanks for watching Hack the File.